Hello and welcome to Royal Destiny Media. Today we want to look at U.S. House of Representatives passed H.R.5 Parents' Bill of Rights Act. What does it mean to the parents? What does it mean to the nation? What does it mean to the children? And what does it mean to everyone around this country? Okay, well, we know that family is the cornerstone of society. It is our first community when we enter into this world. It's where we learn our values, where we gain our strength, and where we develop our sense of self. But what happens when the government tries to interfere with the family unit? The intent of the government may seem good, but when it deprives the parents the power to exercise the fundamental and God-given responsibility, the children suffer proper moral upbringing. The society suffers the consequences of taking the decision process away from the adult parents and handing it over to the children who are just in their formative years and who may not fully understand the consequences of their choice. That's where H.R., the Parents' Bill of Rights Act, comes in. There are three fundamental areas of children upbringing: the moral upbringing, education, and the care of the child. And looking at the care of the child, we can look at it from the angle of health care and also look at it from the angle of the activities of daily living. Raising children to be polite, what they should do, how they should go about their day, how they should face challenges as each day passes, how they should keep their rooms, how they should learn to feed themselves, be strong, and be able to face daily challenges in life. It is the parents' responsibility. Nobody has debated it that parents are not responsible. In fact, parents go out, make income, get salary, and come back to raise these children with the number of hours they have been able to make, they have been able to put in, the income they get from it. They shower these resources on their children. So, because it is a natural responsibility given to them, and parents take it as a natural responsibility, they do it joyfully. But when the law takes the power of the parents away, the parents becomes powerless to do the best that they know for their children. So the Parents' Bill of Rights Act is a federal bill introduced in Congress that seeks to protect the fundamental rights of parents to direct the upbringing, education, and care of the children. From parents' perspective, parents want their children, obviously, to be the best they can be. A parent believes that he is the best person that understands the child, that knows the child, and should have the final say in matters that relate to their children when it comes to education, health care, upbringing. I'm talking about education. What are we talking about here? What is taught in the school? What is infused into the child? H.R.5, that's the bill we're talking about, gives the parents that peace of mind, knowing that their rights as parents are protected. Some of the key provisions of H.R.5 we'll be considering now. The first one talks about the budget. That's section 102, annual local education agency report cards. So that's, and do not let us forget that this bill applies to all public schools that are funded through federal program. So in the area of budget, it says each local educational agency report card shall include the budget for the school year for which such report card is being prepared, including all revenues and expenditures, including expenditures made to private entities for the local educational agency as a whole, and for each elementary school and secondary school served by the local education agency. In addition to the detailed budget information required under the preceding sentence, the agency shall include a separate fact sheet that summarizes such information in a clear and easily understandable format. So this is to tell us that this bill is not just about what the children are taught in school. It also talks about the parents having insight into the management of the school system, where their children spend considerable amount of time daily, at least 5 times a week. And we should not forget that parents are always part of the Parents and Teachers Association. So parents should know about the budget and should be able to contribute effectively at such meeting. Then let's look at the area that borders on the parents' right to know, which is actually the focus of this report. That is section 104, parents' right to know. So this section talks precisely and explicitly about what has been changed or what has been amended in the Constitution, what is being amended or what is suggested for amendment. And this is a bill that has passed the House of Representatives. We will look at the progress it's supposed to make towards the end of this report before it becomes a law. So these are the paragraphs. If you see one there, it says by redesigning paragraphs 1, 2, 3, and 4 as paragraphs 2, 3, 4, and 6 respectively, meaning that another paragraph has been put as paragraph 1. So let's look at what it says. Notice of right. A local educational agency receiving funds under this part shall ensure that each elementary school and secondary school served by such agency posts on a public accessible website of the school, or if the school does not operate a website, widely disseminate to the public a summary notice of the rights of parents to information about their children's education as required under this act, which shall be in an understandable format for parents and include at minimum, this is a minimum standard. That's another thing we have to understand. The school can go on and beyond this, but this is the minimum standard. A, right to review and make copies of, at no cost, the curriculum of their child's school. B, the right to know if the state alters the state's challenging state academic standard, So if the academic standard is changed, the parents need to know. The right to meet with each teacher of the child not less than twice during each school year in accordance with paragraph 5A. Then D, the right to review the budget, including all revenue and expenditure of their child's school, which we have seen in section 102 mentioned earlier. Then the right to, that's section E, subsection E, the right to a list of the books and other reading materials available in their library, in the library of their child's school, and to inspect such books or other reading materials. So the parents now have rights to inspect the books that are in the library that are made available to their children that's under this bill. If this bill pass the Senate and is signed into law by the president. So the right to inform about all schools in which their child can enroll, including options for enrolling in or transferring to other schools. So that's also about registration, moving from one school or to another, or probably as a new entrant, maybe moving from elementary school to the secondary school. So the school must make available all the schools that the child is qualified to attend to the parents, so that the parents will be duly informed and can make informed choice. Then the right to information about all schools in which their child can enroll. Okay, I think that's the one we just read. Okay, other schools served by the local educational agency, charter schools, and schools served by a different local educational agency in the states. So this is just giving more and more opportunity for the parents to have insight into what opportunities are available to their children, and they can make the right decision on behalf of their children. Then G says the right to address the school board of the local educational agency, the right to information about violent activity in their child's school. If a child, whether is involved or not in violent activity, the parents have the right to know what kind of violence has taken place in that school. Well, we do know that some schools do send, if there is any event in their school, they send it to the parents' phone either by text or by voice message. So that is in line with the law. Then I, the right to information about any plans to eliminate gifted and talent programs. So if there is a program that is designed for gifted children or talented programs, if that program will not exist again, it's going to be terminated, the parents have the right to know ahead of time, which is not asking for too much. Then the right to review any professional development materials. The right to know if their child is not grade level proficient in reading or language arts at the end of the third grade as described in subsection C10. So that's another one. Then another one is K. Okay, that's K, we've just finished. L, the right to know if a school employee or contractor acts to 1. Change a minor child's gender markers, pronouns, or preferred name, or 2. Allow a child to change the gender sex-based accommodations, including locker rooms or bathrooms. So before any of this could happen, the parents must be informed. And this is very important because the parents are the custodian of their children. The children don't, in many cases, don't know what decision they are making for themselves, how it can impact them, or how the decision they are making can be beneficial to them. Most times, children act based on peer influence, but the parents are there to guide the children on the repercussion or the benefit of the decisions they want to make, and sit with the child and explain, this is the pro, this is the con of the decision you want to make. That's why parents are there for their children, and parents with the love in their heart would definitely want to guide their children right. So M, the right to know if a school employee or contractor asks to treat, advise, or address the cyberbullying of a student. So there are so many other things. I will advise that you go to the website, to the Congress website, and look for this bill and look into it. Get more information from it if you are a parent. So for the lawmakers who passed the bill, their explanation is that the Parents' Bill of Rights Act is about putting parents back in the driver's seat. It's about recognizing that parents are the primary educators, caretakers, and providers for their children. It's about ensuring that parents have the final say in matters related to their child's well-being. Like I said earlier, the parents are not just a co-tenant with their children. They are, in fact, until the child is of that maturity age that he or she can make decision for himself, the decision should be made by the parents to safeguard the child from making a decision that he or she will now regret later in life. So it is always good that the parents know what is going on in the school, know the educational materials that the children are exposed to, know the activities they are involved in, and also they know the health of their children. They live with them in the same house, in the same home, and they know if they can actually be involved, they can involve in some maybe sports, games, and stuff like that. They'll be able to advise in line with the health care workers. They will be able to sit down and both evaluate the competency or the physical ability of that child, the mental capability of that child to be engaged in certain activities. So the parents must not be at the back seat when it comes to the children. So, but this is not the way it is viewed across board. So it is important to note that there are diverse opinions about this, and the bill is still in the process. But let's hear from the lawmakers. Let's hear what's make them to bring up this bill.
Education and the workforce or their designees, and provides for one motion to recommit. Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of this rule and in support of the underlying legislation. The Parents' Bill of Rights would secure a fundamental right parents should always be guaranteed: the right to make informed decisions about their children. As my first time managing a floor debate, I couldn't think of a better bill to focus on. Our families in Indiana and across the country deserve debate on H.R.5, and we plan to deliver. As a mother of 3 children in school, I know how important it is for parents to know what's happening in the classroom. Unfortunately, this bill is necessary because school districts across the country have failed to deliver basic transparency, and that became painfully obvious to parents during the pandemic. Our living rooms became classrooms. Parents came to realize exactly what their children's days looked like. Many parents were surprised and disappointed by what they were learning about their children's educational experiences. Like many of my colleagues, I prefer that most decisions regarding education be made at the state and local level, and this bill does not change that. But the actions over the past few years have compelled us to stand up and to act. There has been example after example of this becoming a bigger problem. In one example, a father from Virginia had to learn his daughter was assaulted in the high school bathroom from his child, not the school. Stories like this one shouldn't become the new normal. As I said in the Rules Committee during the hearing about the bill just last night, sending a child to public school does not terminate parental rights at the door. I worked in child services. I've cared for children in foster care. When foster parents are caring for their children who are in the custody of the state, they can't give those kids a haircut without getting permission from the child's biological parents. Shouldn't the same rules apply to the students' safety and well-being in our schools? Yet parents are left pleading. They're left to plead for information, to plead for the safety of their kids in public restrooms, to plead for the quality of their kids' education, and to plead for anyone who would listen to help restore their parental rights. This bill would restore transparency